Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 22. Luke 22, we're going to start at verse 29. And we're going to get again Christ talking about them being given thrones and given a kingdom. Luke 22, verse 29. Read it.
And I appoint unto you a kingdom.
What did Christ say?
And I appoint unto you a kingdom.
Read on.
As my Father have appointed unto me.
Read on.
That you may eat and drink at my table.
Read on.
In my kingdom.
Read on.
And sit on thrones.
Read it again.
And sit on thrones.
Read on.
Judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now, right after he said that, look at what he said. Read on.
And the Lord said, Simon.
Read it again.
And the Lord said, Simon.
Come on.
Simon.
Come on.
Behold.
Come on.
Satan have desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
What's going on with Peter? He talked about all 12 of them getting thrones. Why Satan is focused on Peter so hard? Everybody understand that? Because he know Peter is going to lead. Peter is destined to take over. Do everybody understand that? Everybody got that? Read on.
Verse 32.
Come on.
But I have prayed for thee.
But Christ is praying that Satan don't get the victory over Peter. But I have prayed for thee. Read on.
That thy faith fail not.
That thy faith fail not. Read on.
When thou art converted.
Read on.
Strengthen thy brethren.
And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. Do everybody understand that? And what this is going into is when Peter denied Christ, he felt terrible. Because he said up and down, he told Christ up and down that he would never do that. So he actually had to be strengthened. He actually had to be converted back. His strength had to come back into him. And Christ is the one that brought that strength back into him. And we're going to go through that and show you that in scriptures. We're going to show you why Peter denied Christ. Do everybody understand that? Everybody got that? Read on.
Verse 33.
Come on.
And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee.
You see Peter's spirit, I am ready to go with thee. Read on.
Both into prison.
Read on.
And to death.
Read on.
And he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day, before that thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me.
Okay, before thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me. Everybody see that, right? All right, so let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 26. So even though Peter had declared that he was ready to die in the defense of Jesus Christ or go into prison, Christ said, you're going to deny me 3 times this day. Do everybody understand it? All right, let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 26. The order that I have this in is necessary. Matthew 26 and 31. I might skip it a little bit, but I intend on reading to the 45th verse. So if I end up not doing that, then just have down Matthew chapter 26, verse 31 to 45. All right, read that for me, please.
Then saith Jesus unto them,
come on.
All ye shall be offended because of me this night.
Read on.
For it is written, I will smite the shepherd,
read on,
and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad.
Read on.
But after I am risen again,
read on,
I will go before you into Galilee.
Read on.
Peter answered,
Here we go again. Peter answered. Read on.
And said unto him,
read on.
Though all men shall be offended because of thee,
read on,
yet will I never be offended.
So Peter is speaking from the conviction of his soul. He's speaking from what he believes, but he doesn't understand that Satan is coming after him a certain way, and Satan is trying to set him up. And then he's gonna realize that he's in that setup. So he don't see this. Christ sees this, but he don't see this. He don't see that Satan is more subtle than any beast of the field. And if Satan is desired to have him, he ain't gonna come with swords and try to stab him. He coming in a way that Peter can't even see him coming. The Bible calls Satan's attacks strategy. It calls it the wiles of the devil. Satan is setting Peter up, and Peter can't even see it, but Christ sees it. So Christ is telling him, you're going to deny me, Peter. I'm telling you, you're going to deny me 3 times. Peter like, what? I will never deny you. I know who you are. You are sure. I am sure that you are the Son of the living God. I will die with you before I deny you. So Christ is looking at him. Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times, okay? Peter confused. He confused. Christ see how Satan is coming. Peter can't see it. So let's let the rest of us see how. Let's look in these scriptures and let's see how Satan is coming to set Peter up. Read on. Tell them where you at.
Verse 34.
Come on.
Jesus said unto him,
read on.
Verily I say unto thee,
read on,
that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice.
Read on.
Peter said unto him,
Read on.
though I should die with thee,
Read on.
yet will I not deny thee.
You see how Peter talking? He said, I'm going to die. Listen, if that's going to go down tonight, then I'm going to die tonight before I deny you. Read on.
Likewise also said all the disciples.
Okay, so the disciples just following Peter. Read on.
Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane.
Come on.
And saith unto the disciples,
Read on.
sit ye here.
Read on.
While I go and pray yonder.
Read on.
And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee.
Read on.
And began to be sorrowful and very heavy.
So what Christ is doing now is he's trying to show them they're going to have to deal with a whole lot. He's trying to show them that when they're in uncertain situations, how to overcome that fear. So as a teacher, he's teaching them by example of how to overcome things that they are really afraid of. Read on.
Then saith he unto them,
come on,
my soul is exceeding sorrowful,
come on,
even unto death.
Come on.
Tarry ye here and watch with me.
Come on.
And he went a little further and fell on his face.
Come on.
And prayed, saying, O my Father,
come on,
if it be possible,
come on,
let this cup pass from me.
Okay, so when you're afraid, what is he showing them? You go to the Father and you pray to the Father out of your fears. Read on and let your Father know, let God the Father know about your fears. He went a little further from them because he wanted them to be able to hear the prayer that he was saying to God the Father. Read on.
Nevertheless, not as I will,
read on,
but as thou wilt.
So no matter how afraid you are, don't be so afraid that where you lose faith. You still come back to your senses and you say, God the Father will be done. Do everybody understand that? Right. I wish I wouldn't have to go through this. I really do. Lord, if it's possible, please, don't let me go through this. But if it's your will that I go through this, then if that's your will, then it's not what I want. It's what you want. This is how Jesus Christ is teaching Peter, James, and John, and everybody how to overcome their fears. Do everybody understand that? Right. It's whatever God the Father wants. You're supposed to be accepting of that. And this is what Jesus Christ is saying. It pleased the Father that Jesus Christ was the sacrifice for the nation of Israel. That's what he wanted. Christ offered himself. Do everybody understand that? Right. Read on. Tell them a verse.
Verse 40.
Come on.
And he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep.
Come on.
And saith unto Peter.
Read on.
What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour?
Read on.
Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation.
Read on.
The spirit indeed is willing.
Yeah, the spirit is willing. Read on.
But the flesh is weak.
Yeah, all that flesh, all that stuff that flesh go through, them evil thoughts and the negativity and all those different things is of the flesh. The spirit is ready. So the Lord is telling Peter, you got to constantly be in prayer. You understand that? So you may hear, well, Peter was asleep, so he didn't get the message. Well, if he didn't get the message, how we getting the message? Right? Somebody was up to be writing this. Everybody understand that? Read on.
Verse 42.
Come on.
He went away again the second time.
Come on.
And prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me,
read on,
except I drink it,
read on,
thy will be done.
What is the message here? No matter what we have to go through, no matter what it is, the cards that God has dealt us in life, no matter how difficult it is, you ain't supposed to be afraid to the point where you're hopeless. You're supposed to be understanding that if whatever you're going through is God the Father's will, then you're going to be okay because you want his will to be done. Do everybody understand that? Read on.
And he came and found them asleep again.
Read on.
For their eyes were heavy.
Come on.
And he left them and went away again.
Come on.
And prayed the third time.
Read on.
Saying the same words.
The same words, because again, he needed them to get the message. Read on.
Then cometh he to his disciples.
Read on.
And saith unto them,
come on,
sleep on now and take your rest.
Come on.
Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners.
Okay, so now let's go from there to St. John chapter 18. When they went away to pray, Judas went back to these high priests and said, now's the perfect time. Nobody's around. Now's the time to take them. Everybody understand that? Nobody knew about that place but Christ and their disciples and his disciples. Let's go to St. John chapter 18, verse 1. Read it.
When Jesus had spoken these words,
read on,
he went forth with his disciples over the brook Cedron.
Read on.
Where was a garden, into the which he entered and his disciples.
Read on.
And Judas also, which betrayed him,
read on,
knew the place.
He did what?
Knew the place.
Read on.
But Jesus oft times resorted thither with his disciples.
Yeah, he went there with them. Read on.
Judas then, having received a band of men,
come on,
and officers from the chief priests,
read on,
and Pharisees,
come on,
cometh thither with lanterns and torches, and weapons.
Like Christ said, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Read on.
Jesus, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him,
Read on.
went forth
Read on.
and said unto them,
So when he seen them coming, he went by himself to meet them and said unto them, these band of soldiers and Judas. Read on.
Whom seek ye?
Come on.
They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth.
Read on.
Jesus said unto them,
Read on.
I am he.
I am he, which is the I am, which is the name that God had told Moses. His name was I am that I am have sent you. And once he said that with that power, that caused these bands of soldiers to feel the power of God. Do everybody understand that? Read verse 6 one more time.
As soon then as he had said unto them,
Read on.
I am he.
Read on.
They went backward and fell to the ground.
Okay, because again, that power came out, that power of God from that name. Read on.
Then asked he them again,
So then he asked again. Read on.
Whom seek ye?
Read on.
And they said, Jesus of Nazareth.
Read on.
Jesus answered, I have told you that I am he.
Read on.
If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way.
Okay, so this was done because Peter and the rest of them had to get out of there. They had to get away because they still had a job to do. Remember, Peter is destined. Everybody understand that? So Christ is making sure that if you're coming for me, just take me and don't take nobody else. Read on.
That the saying might be fulfilled, which he spake, of them which thou gavest me,
Read on.
have I lost none.
Read on.
Then Simon Peter,
Read on.
having a sword,
Read on.
drew it,
Didn't he tell Christ he was going to die with him that day? Huh? He drew a sword. Go ahead.
and smote the high priest's servant,
Read on.
and cut off his right ear.
Come on.
The servant's name was Malchus.
Okay, they even named this. They even gave his name. Okay, Peter was nice with the sword. That's another thing about him and David. I just want.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Okay, to cut off an ear with a heavy sword, brother, you gotta be okay. You gotta be okay. You gotta be okay. Okay, so Malchus caught hell, but Christ put his ear back on, act like it never happened. You know? Everybody got that? We ain't gonna go through all that. But he did put his ear back on. So, read on.
Verse 11.
Come on.
Then said Jesus unto Peter,
Read on.
put up thy sword into the sheath.
This is not the time for war. This is not the time for you to be attacking anybody. I told you, I've been teaching you that this is what I must do. I just said that prayer to let you know how to overcome fear. God the Father's will must be done. Read on.
The cup which my Father hath given me,
Read on.
shall I not drink it?
Okay, so this is what he's showing Peter. Learn to do the Father's will. Don't fight against it. Read on.
Then the band and the captain and officers of the Jews took Jesus.
Read on.
And bound him.
Okay, took Jesus and bound him. Everybody see that, right? All right, let's go from there. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 26. So they took Christ, they bound him, they tied him up, and they led him away. So the chief priests, seeking to get him by craftiness, that's fulfilled. They got Judas to deliver Christ to them. They taken him away. Now we're going to pick the story up in the book of Matthew 26, verses 58. Matthew chapter 26, verse 58. Read that, please.
But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace.
Okay, so Peter, as there's other scriptures that tell you all the disciples forsook Christ and fled. They ran when they had a chance to get away. But Peter, he came back and he followed them afar off unto the high priest's palace. Read on.
And went in.
And then he went in. Read on.
And sat with the servants.
Read on.
To see the end.
To do what?
See the end.
To do what?
See the end.
To see the end. The last days of Jesus of Nazareth. Peter wanted to see it. So now we're getting into the setup that Satan has prepared for Peter.